Hey, Dan, we all set? Okay. I'd like to call to order the Narragansett Town Council meeting for May 18th, and it's 7 o'clock, and I'd like to pledge allegiance. Stand up to pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So Alex Manzi's not here tonight. He's actually down in Washington and preparing for tomorrow to request some funds from the government for Narrow River, and I'm going to meet him tomorrow morning. So give me a break because I don't do this much. So we have an exciting night tonight. We have the fifth grade middle school chorus, and they're going to entertain us tonight. I think, Jim, you're after that, right? So, okay. So can I ask Mrs. Emily Chaudier to maybe come up and tell us all about this? Thanks.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting the Pierce School's fifth grade chorus to come and perform this evening for Town Council. On May 8th, our Pierce School and Narragansett Elementary School courses attended the Rhode Island American Choral Directors Association Elementary Choral Festival. MPS and NES students performed outstanding and were awarded the highest rank of gold for their performances. Tonight, it's our pleasure to perform for you. Our students have prepared a selection entitled Yankee Doodle Song. They are directed by choral director Michael Simeone. So please put your hands together for the MPS fifth grade chorus.
That was great. Thank you so much.
Can I just say a couple words real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Jason.
So I've had the honor of chaperoning the chorus for 2 years in a row now, And it's been so amazing to watch these students perform in front of their peers and these judges. It takes a lot of bravery to do that, and it's an honor that the school was here and to show you what the arts department really is like. Mr. Simeone, you do an amazing job. I know Ms. Hamill does an amazing job as well, and I appreciate everything you guys do, and thank you for coming and doing that.
I too would like to thank you so much for coming. This is what Spotlight on Schools is all about, showing all the great things that are happening in our schools. I know my granddaughter in 4th grade had the pleasure of also performing, and they too, as was mentioned, won gold. And so these kids are doing amazing things out there and with their peers, in front of their peers, and it's just an amazing program and the great things that are happening in our schools. So thank you guys, you well deserved. Thank you.
We'll take a couple-minute recess so everybody can take pictures and leave if they don't like to. Thank you. Could somebody close the door in the back? Maybe. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we're all set? Next on the agenda is the town manager's update.
Good evening, members of the council, those who are here this evening and those who are at home listening. The first announcement I have, it is with profound sadness that I inform you that a town of Narragansett employee and a friend to many here, Isaac Siegel, was tragically killed in the plane crash at Westerly Airport earlier today. His family has been notified. Please keep Isaac and his family in your thoughts and prayers. Isaac's brother also worked for the town before moving on to University of Rhode Island, and I respectfully request a moment of silence. Thank you. Some updates for the week. The wastewater treatment plant. Sunday morning, Donna had picked up some social media chatter regarding the plant that was supposedly emitting odors. I responded to the plant, checked the facility, surrounding neighborhoods, and detected no odors. Additionally, our lab testing staff was on site that morning, and there were no reports. I then responded to the regional plant as an extra step on Westmoreland and did not detect any odors. Apparently a false narrative from a social media poster. Currently, the plant remains to be operating optimally. The League of Cities and Towns Municipal Leadership Academy. I attended the graduation of Narragansett Police Department Captain Ryan Prest from the MLA last week. This program, the Municipal Leadership Academy, is an opportunity for a select group of local government staff to come together to build their leadership skills as they pertain to self, team, and community. The cohort is limited in size to offer personalized attention and team building. The Leadership Academy is designed to build skills and leadership competencies for employees committed to growing in their public service careers. The ideal candidates are local government staff members with current or future supervisory experience for people, programs, or projects. Nominations are solicited from community leaders. In the past, I've had several of our employees go to the spring and the fall sessions of this. A committee reviews the applications and they select the candidates. There is no fee for this, for the municipalities for participation, and the program receives great reviews from all those participants. And I would like to congratulate Captain Prest, who is the #2 man in the police department, for completing this great program. This past Friday, May 15th, was Police Officer Memorial Day. On May 4th, in 1963, President Kennedy issued a proclamation recognizing May 15th as Peace Officer Memorial Day and the calendar week in which it falls as Police Week. The National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial was dedicated on October 15th, 1991. It honors federal, state, and local law enforcement who have made the ultimate sacrifice. The National Law Enforcement Officer Memorial has the names of 24,775 law enforcement officers engraved on it that paid the ultimate sacrifice. On May 15th of every year, an annual service is held in Washington, D.C. to honor the fallen and their families that are left behind. I attended those services and the dedication in October '91 more than 20 times and personally knew 16 of the officers whose names are engraved on the walls. Keep these fallen officers in their families in your thoughts and prayers, and thank you to our police officers and their support staff. Please be careful, be well, and take care of each other. Which brings us to the next update. I received a phone call early Saturday morning from Chief Rikas, who reported the following. Early Saturday morning, around 1 a.m., the Narragansett Police was involved in pursuit of a vehicle operating in a dangerous manner, including speed. The officer attempted to stop the vehicle. The operator eluded the police in the industrial park off South Ferry Road. The perpetrator then resurfaced, speeding westbound on South Ferry Road, crossing over the center lane, and apparently aiming directly at the NPD cruiser driving eastbound, and struck the officer's cruiser head-on. Rhode Island State Police, North Kingstown Police were in the area to assist, as usual, when they hear something like this over the radio. Once the collision occurred, the suspect fled on foot. A thermal imaging drone was deployed, and the suspect was located in the wooded area by the drone. The suspect did not comply with the demands to reveal himself, and the State Police K-9 was deployed. The suspect was apprehended. Our officer is okay. The suspect had some minor injuries, and the suspect was held at the ACI, but he did make bail today. He was charged with looting, vandalism, obstruction, resisting, DWI, reckless driving, and a few others. This is the work that the officers do in this community every day. The town budget, all the changes as proposed by the town council, have been included in the documents that are before you this evening for the first reading. I'd like to thank everyone for their collaborative effort on this annual project. Thanks to the town council, the department heads, and special thanks to our finance director, Christine Wilson, who will be taking a well-deserved vacation starting tomorrow. She has been tasked with spending way too much time in my office and me in her office, but it always takes a team to get these things accomplished, and I'd like to thank all of you for that. And that's it for the update.
Thank you, Jim. I had a question. The Narrow River dredging project, we've received the DEM approval, we've received the CRMC approval, we're expecting the Army Corps of Engineer approval.
That is correct.
Would it be out of place, as you know, the entire council supports the Narrow River dredging project? Is it out of place to just start the RFP now instead of preparing and not wait any longer?
We have to wait to see if there's any alterations to the project from Army Corps of Engineers, if there are any other stipulations, because they're still negotiating some items as far as how the project would be actually completed, and the disposition of the dredged sand and things like that.
So, can we prepare not to wait, or can we
We're-
get it on the plate?
Yeah, well, it's pretty much already in the process.
Yeah.
Fourth Engineering, who we're working with, is drafting it as they go along. As we get more information, they're fine-tuning it further and further. So when the time we get the final permit, it won't be long after that before the RFP goes out.
Okay. Because the windows, the windows close in between
Yes.
now and October and all that. Thank you.
We did get a notice today from Senator Whitehouse's office that our request for that particular application for the CDS was put on the list to be referred to the Appropriations Committee. We just received that notice today.
Oh, okay. That's good. All right. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the December 1st, 25 work session?
So moved.
Second?
What's that? I can do both at once? Yep. So we'll add a motion to approve the minutes of the January 5th, 26th regular meeting to the previous item. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. And then next is the open forum. Is there anybody on the list, Jim, that signed up for open forum?
Yes, we have 6 that have signed up. I have the list here. The first one is Suzanne Cohen.
Okay, Suzanne.
Good evening. Suzanne
Hi.
Cohen, 11 Summer Street. I understand, I want to address item K2 on the agenda. That's the parking restriction on Congdon. I understand that it's been rescinded now.
Excuse me. So open forum is for other items that are not on the agenda. So if you
Oh.
could kindly just wait until
Will
it
do.
comes up, that'd be great.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
The second is Brett Williams.
All right. Brett Williams, Clark Road. As you all know, I strongly oppose the expansion of the pickleball courts on Clark Road. I know this has been budgeted for years, and again this year. However, I thought this project was no longer in consideration until I heard it via word of mouth a few weeks ago that it was back in play. This is a wildly inappropriate misuse of taxpayers' funds for a niche group of people, while there are serious infrastructure needs that would help everyone in town. There are ample courts in Narragansett, surrounding towns, and there's a large indoor facility right up the road. When the project was first considered, there were not as many options. A significant amount of time of these courts are empty. These people want to play all at the same time, which is creating more of a nuisance for traffic, noise, and the limited parking. I've been a part of many companies, and I've never seen a budgeting process while funds continue to run year over year. Just because it has been budgeted doesn't mean you have to spend the money. To spend it on projects that do not merit it. A better use of taxpayer funds would be towards projects such as, off the top of my head, clean water, the growing sewer nightmare, dredging of the river, new vehicles for town departments, affordable housing, the Keeney bungalow that has a roof leak that nobody seems to be thinking about. It needs to be repaired. I know the courts at Sprague Park, when they were cracked, I was the high school tennis coach last year. Parks and Rec did an excellent job. Within 24 hours' notice, they came and filled the cracks with sand so that nobody would get hurt. If that's a real concern, then that's probably what we should be doing on the Clark Road pickle courts. Yes, I'm an abutting neighbor. I've been concerned about the additional noise for a while. When I bought that house, Clark Road was a quiet country road with a park where I taught my kids how to play soccer and play tennis. The tennis courts that were there when I purchased the house are now pickle courts. I didn't complain, but now that there's a larger project getting considered. I feel obligated to speak out for all the taxpayers at what a complete waste of money this is. The current 4 courts might not even be in compliance due to the noise ordinances that have been an issue for this town council. The Clark Road property was acquired through a grant requiring the preservation of open space. I don't know when that was acquired, the land, but already we're screwing up the open space by talking about potentially expanding a project that could be somewhere, I've heard the numbers from $400,000 to $800,000 and above. I don't think we actually know yet. If the wider general public knew about this project, because it's been sort of snuck through in the weeds, I've lived next door and heard nothing about it over the last couple of years, but the people who would benefit from these larger projects, I think, would be in an uproar that we don't have our bases covered and we're going to provide a luxury thing for a handful of people. And I will leave you with this. Interestingly, I tried to learn a little bit more about Narragansett pickleball, so I Googled Narragansett pickleball to see what I could learn. The top result is the Rhode Island Pickleball Association, the building behind Dunkin' Donuts. The second thing that pops up is a paid advertisement highlighting Durkin Cottages, the history of pickleball, and promoting tournaments, places to stay in their cottages, and their #1 location that they recommend where you stay and play is Clark Road. Is that a coincidence? Or is it a conflict of interest? Thank you.
Jim, could you use the time?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I didn't shut him off, but whatever. He had a few more minutes to berate me. The second person on the,
Next is Mike Gagas.
hi, Mike.
Yeah, my name is Mike Gagas. I am an interloper from South Kingstown, but I came here to thank you, the council, your staff, and the citizens, the residents of Narragansett. Some great things have been happening here that have impacted people even beyond your own town. The first is that your EDC chair, Doug Gilbert, invited all the EDCs and the chambers of commerce to this chamber to hear from the Rhode Island Commerce Organization and the Labor Department of the state, and they reviewed all the opportunities there are to get loans or training funds and things that will help businesses, and all those EDCs and chambers are now going out and communicating it to the rest of, to their people as well. So I wanted to thank you for that. The second thing I wanted to thank you for was the use of your senior center, community center, for the volunteers to prepare income taxes for the senior citizens. Karen Flint is the director over there. She's involved with this process. The taxpayers know the seniors to call and schedule an appointment. They then come in. Karen gives them a document to fill out and a checklist of all the things they need to bring to get their taxes done. We have 2 sessions a week, 10 weeks, 20 sessions. This year we did 240 income tax returns, state and federal, for seniors. I would say 60–70% of them are from Narragansett, but we get some folks from South Kingstown and Charlestown. When the other centers fill up, the overflow all comes here too. It's about $275, $300 a pop to get those income taxes prepared professionally. So we're saving seniors somewhere between $65,000 and $75,000 in just direct fees. We processed, the federal government returned $340,000 in tax returns, in refunds to taxpayers, and the state put in $129,000, so we're getting close to $500,000. I just would be remiss if I didn't tell you that at least 1 or 2 or 3 of those taxpayers say, I'm going to go down to the town now and pay my taxes because I have this money in hand. So there's 5 counselors there, and there is a facilitator that reviews all the materials. 2 of these people are Narragansett residents. Tom O'Rourke is a facilitator, and Chuck Connell is a tax preparer. So again, we're very grateful. This couldn't be done without your sponsorship, without your guidance, without the tremendous staff that you have, and we're looking forward to a long and productive future. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Ralph Catalisi.
It's for the same, it's already on the agenda for Condon Street.
Okay. John Hanley.
John Hanley, 10 Wilderness Drive. I sort of want to address the kerfuffle that ended the last town council meeting. It was a display of both incompetence and sleazy politics by this council. Fact, April 20th, consent agenda, item I-1, approving multiple licenses, approved by the council 5-0, including the property owned by Mr. Durkin. My comment, the consent agenda, is for topics that are routine and not controversial. Who are we kidding? This is one of the most controversial topics in town. You all knew this and decided to sneak it by. Or maybe you didn't even read the consent agenda. It's either sleazy politics or more incompetence from this council. As for Mr. Durkin, he had to know it was on the agenda and tried to sneak it by. Later, someone must have told him that this was an open and shut case of conflict of interest or a clear ethics violation. So, on May 4th, agenda item I-6 appears, a motion to reconsider this item. The actions of the council on this agenda item were despicable at best. You violated your own rules by not allowing public comment on this motion. It was a motion, and your rules require you to hear from the public on a motion. Consider this. You scheduled this as the final item of the evening in a meeting that lasted 4.5 hours, probably hoping everyone would go home. You violated your own rules when you shut down public comment by claiming the issue was already spoken for on a previous consent agenda. That's BS and probably came from your attorney. This was a motion, not a consent agenda item. This was a way your attorney probably said, well, we can skirt the item here and nobody will even notice. Once again, wrong, just as he attempted to shut me up last year on a similar issue. This is sleazy politics, and you're all complicit. You know, you all talk about transparency every time you get the chance. However, when the rubber meets the road, you have no problem trying to hide the true facts from public view, just as you did when they decided, behind closed doors, to absolve Mr. Durkin again of his ordinance violation of the 3-student ordinance, and then to not enforce that ordinance, and then tried to hide that from the public. Transparency, you're a joke.
Next speaker is Elizabeth Del Gizo.
Anybody else, Jim? No, I'm sorry. Come on up, ma'am.
Good evening. Am I on? Yes. Okay, good evening. My first point I want to make is that our town council, number one, each member should have common sense. And common sense would attribute to knowing what our necessities are versus priorities. Now, I understand necessities, whether you're in the town, you live in a house, wherever you are, your necessities are waste, sewer, septic system, if you're going to live there. And number two is water, because you need water to flush into the sewage, septic system, so on and so forth. Therefore, there should be no new hookups to either sewer or water until our systems are able to fully support all of the people here in Narragansett. especially during the summer, and this is when we have a problem. And getting back to ADUs, I compared what we have in the town of Narragansett to what the actual state ordinance are, Title 45. And in that, it does state, if I can just grab it here, that they're allowed to, if you have built an ADU, doesn't say that you have to change zoning, number one. Number two, you don't have to have separate water or sewer service. However, you have to address capacity or upgrades necessary to accommodate the ADU. So therefore, we definitely have a real, honest reason why we should not be allowing anyone to hook up to the sewer system or the water until they are at full capacity. You know, as I said, and granted, look at other towns who don't have sewer systems, who don't have public water. All right, they have land. Well, nobody's saying they can't build. Nobody cares about the zoning. But you do have to have water and septic. And if you could have 20 acres of land, but if you cannot have a proper septic system and you cannot have a proper well, you cannot build. So therefore, why aren't you listening to me instead of avoiding me? Yeah, you're going to shut me off. People, I hope you know who you're voting for the next time you come around.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Sue Amoroso.
Hi. Do I have to say my name again, Sue Amoroso? No, because I'm not doing that. Okay. I'm here to give you good news. Today was a big day. The Rhode Island solar energy people, we are hooked up and operating to the system. So we are, and just to give some people out there some background, it's a 2.5-year project which was started by the previous town council, Lori Kelly, who was the president of the library board at the time, and Patty Arkwright, who was the library director. They pushed it, and also Chris Wilson, who did her major part, and hooking us up with the Rhode Island Infrastructure Bank. And we had one one company bid, that was Gridwealth. So the good news is we had an excellent owner's rep, and some people have said, what's an owner's rep? It's like a contract person who tells you what the contractor is doing right and wrong. And if there are any shortcomings, they point them out. And we were really lucky that Amanda from KCM Rhode Island Group turned out to be a real detail person, and she kept this project moving. And then the company that actually did the installation was Veritas, and the president is Wissam Tabouli, and he and his company were very rapid in getting this going after very long, lengthy stalling. And Andrew Souza was the construction person from there. He was in charge of the crew. And that crew shoveled out. We had all those snowstorms in the blizzard, and they were always shoveling out the roof so they could put the racks down, get the panels in, and it was completed. And then we had one outstanding permit from the town, and that was done. And Andrew came down from Massachusetts this morning, and he flipped the switch, and I can't tell you, after 2.5 hours, he and I are the two original committee people on this project, and it was wonderful not only to know we're producing clean energy, but my obligation was done. And I hope that maybe other town rooftops that we have might consider this once we get some facts and figures in from the library, and that we will follow with promoting clean energy. But it really was a group thing. Oh, and I forgot to say that we had a celebration, and Senator Reed came, and he's very committed to our town. And he spoke to a lot of people, and also Senator Alana DeMario from the state level, she came, and so did Representative Carol Hagan McEntee, as well as some of you from the town council and other town offices. So we appreciate that support, and it was a really good celebration, but it's actually working today with all the sunshine we had. So I'm really excited and happy, and I just want everyone out there in TV land to know that, and you guys. So that's it. Okay.
Can I just say that I would like to thank you for your dedication and your hard work from the beginning and working and staying with this project, and it's so exciting to hear that it's working today. Thank you for everything that you have done.
Well, thank you. I really am a firm believer in saving our planet, so.
And the celebration.
But thank you,
was-
Donna, for those compliments.
And the celebration was great. It was really a
Oh,
great thing.
thank you.
I love that green ball. That was
Oh, that
really
was
cool.
Jared, our
Jared, that was
present
really
library
cool.
director. That
Thank
was
you.
his inspiration, and that was good. So, thank you.
Thank you.
And Sue, how many car chargers are there? Are there,
There's two.
and those are supported by the rooftop solar units? from what I
Yes,
understand?
and so there's, they're not free, there's a charge, but it's the availability to the public. Anyone can use them, you don't need a library card, and use a credit card to pay with. They're the same brand that's down at Salty Brine Beach, because I checked on that. So, and coming will be some stenciling or indication on those two parking spots that they are reserved for people who are charging their cars. So that's in the works.
Thank
Do you
you.
have any other questions?
No, I'm good.
Anybody else? Okay, thanks.
The next speaker is Garrett Duffy. No, for later. Okay. For those who are here for agenda items, if it's specifically for K2, I would respectfully request that you allow the chief of police to come up and speak first after the council introduces it. Thank you.
Anybody else? Lump them together?
I'll make that motion to
So we have a motion from Jason.
move
Do we have a
C1
second?
through C.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes 4-0 for the consent agenda. And next item on the agenda is the new business, town council.
Jim, sorry to interrupt. It looks like most of the people here for the K2 Congdon Street item.
Do we,
You wanna-
yeah, do we
wanna
have a
make a
motion
motion
to move K2 to the next agenda item?
I'll make that motion.
We have a second,
I'll second.
and we have a second from Ryan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we'll move that up, and can Chief Rikus come up and speak to us about that first? Good idea.
Thank you, Mr. Durkin, I appreciate it. So on this ordinance, we decided, if possible, to void the first part of it, which says no parking either side, north and south from Broome Street to Summer Street. From talking to quite a bit of neighbors in that back area and talking to DPW and several members of the police department, we're going to have to do a little more homework on that. I think we're just going to push the problem back to Summer Street, Frank Lowe, and Caswell Street. I don't think it's, where it may solve the problem for some, it's probably going to create a bigger problem for others.
So Chief, do you want us to table it for now and then take it up at a later time or continue it, or?
Let's table it for now, please.
Okay. So would it be proper to let the people speak and then table it, or just table it?
I think just do the motion, the second discussion, and then you can decide what to do after that.
Does Say it again, Jim.
Have a motion, a second. If it's approved, then have the discussion, and then after that, you can figure out whether to continue it, table it, whatever you might do. Right.
Okay.
So you should have a motion, a second first, and then discuss.
Okay.
I'll motion to table item K2.
No.
So now,
No, it's we want a motion for discussion, right? Thought we already motioned
We
to.
already made, didn't we
We
make
made the motion to
We
speak
didn't?
about it, right?
we made the motion.
Oh,
to
we
open up.
didn't? Oh,
Okay.
okay, got it.
I'll motion
All right.
to open item K2.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0, so now it's officially open. And if anybody would like to speak on Chief Rikas's comments or the motion itself, we plan on tabling it, but you're free to speak.
Hi, everyone. Garrett Duffy, 6 Summer Street. I wrote this prior to the motion being tabled. But first of all, I wanted to thank the town council for all the work you do. I know not everyone always agrees with you, but you work hard, and we appreciate the hard work that you do. Also, I had a great talk with Chief Rikas last week about this issue. I have 2 young children. My wife and I own a home. We've lived here for about 15 years on Summer Street. We have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. We are the luckiest people in the world to live where we live. When we were walking home the other day from the park, there were people parked on both sides of Congdon. This is a small stretch of Congdon that leads into Summer Street and Frank Lowe and these other streets that we're discussing. And there's people parking there late night. They're making noise. Chief Rikas will go through this more. But I just wanted to say, as for a safety issue, our 2 young kids, we were holding them very tight as we're walking through that intersection. And there obviously could be some potential drunk driving around there. We're just really worried. So the hope was, if that section was going to be made no parking, that you could extend that and potentially do a permit-only parking for that area. Because if someone's coming down from Providence to go to a restaurant and they can't find parking, they're going to drop their people off, and then they're going to find a place to park. They're not going to give up and go home. So our thought was that they will end up parking near us. So the other thing that I wanted to mention was, we're afraid of people late night congregating at 1 a.m. outside our bedrooms. We already cannot open our my wife and I can't open our window late at night because of noise pollution. And we're just hoping this doesn't happen for our little kiddos. So a few potential options that you guys could explore would be to look at the resident parking, or the open parking lot next to Boone Street, and maybe the dirt lot, or the other parking lot that's, I know they're privately owned, but we're just worried about our neighborhood being a place where people park and are loud and stumbling, and public urination's also a problem over there. So thank you for listening to me, and thank you, Chief Rikas, for looking into this further. We would love to be involved with this process, and just keep us posted. Thank you.
Suzanne Cohen on Summer Street. I agree with basically everything Garrett has said. I just want to add one more thing, that maybe we could consider that lot that he was talking about next to Boone Market, taking it by eminent domain. See if that's a possibility. That would surely open a lot of parking, and it may be a solution to our problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that wants to speak on this? Come on up, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Yusuf Al-Hamadi, 154 Caswell, corner of Congdon and Caswell. Fairly new to the neighborhood, only been here about 18 months. Privileged to marry into a family that's been Narragansett locals for, near as makes no difference, a century. And thank you, Chief, for pointing out the limitations of parking on that street. As someone who's lived lives in that area as long as Boone Street Market has been around, and with the parking situation the way it is, I do fully agree that changing the parking restrictions on that stretch is just going to shift it up because it's already a problem further up. I have video on my cameras of people, one person in particular, entering my yard and relieving himself on my trees. I have videos of other people tossing beer cans into my lawn. So I understand the need to resolve the parking issue. However, it's only going to relocate the problem, especially considering that a lot of the people that are coming come through and rip down the street on Congdon, few people with quite a bit of speed, a few times a day. So again, I consider it a significant safety issue, and I appreciate the town council looking into it. I appreciate your deliberation on it, and I hope that you can consider not just the safety of the immediate surroundings of where the parking is needed and where the restriction is being considered, but also the surrounding neighborhoods beyond that. Thank you.
Sorry. You want to speak, sir? Come on up.
Good evening. My name's Ralph Catalozzi, and I've been living on Summer Street for about 20 years. I'm also a builder, as you are, for 57 years. And with regards to this, I was involved in a lot of renovations. You may remember this. It was the old Pier House Inn on the strip there where the Coast Guard house was. Well, they had the same situation that this Boone Street Market has, that they were overrun by patrons going to, and young people leaving half in the bag and not parking wherever they wanted to park. What the town did at that time is when a certain time came, they had someone from the police department there, and what they did is they had to register how many people came into that restaurant or the facility at a certain time, and then everyone else was barred. So, I mean, this place over here, and I'm not holding anything against a person as business, but I am holding against anybody that wants to come on the street and cause disruption. And on Cognan Street and on Summer Street, first of all, they walk back and forth. Well, I'll give you an example. After the road race, what is it like after the road race? People all over the place. This is what that's turning into. And as I said, with the Pier House Inn, they had the same situation, people complaining and this, that, and the other, and the police department put a stop to it. At a certain time, you could only have so many people in the restaurant at that period of time, and then after that, it was after hours. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We had a motion to table it and have people speak. We didn't have the motion to table it yet? Okay. So we need a motion to table it. Is that the proper?
Right, and then you can bring it back whenever.
Bring it back whenever?
Correct.
Okay. So is there a motion to table?
Motion to table item K2.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Mr. Durkin, there is one component of that that I have spoken to the chief about in the event that it was continued or tabled. I am going to authorize emergency no parking at that stretch on Congdon, that if you're facing west where the fire hydrant is next to Bike Stop, to allow that area to be reserved in the evening specifically for police to monitor the crowds.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. So do you need a motion for that, Jim, or is that just something you have the authority to do?
I do have the authority to emergency parking rules, yes.
Okay, so I think that's okay with us, and, okay, so,
We can't have them parking in the middle of the street or in the parking lot. They'll never get out if they have to. Thank you.
okay. So, maybe we'll notify the people so they know when it's coming up the next time, I assume, somehow. Stay tuned. So, all right, so Next item on the agenda is D1, and it's a motion to read, pass, and adopt as a second reading an ordinance to amendment of Chapter 22, Article 3, entitled Noise. So this is the second reading, so there won't be any discussion on this. Is there a motion?
I'll move the motion.
Second.
Second?
Ryan motioned, Donna seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Next on the agenda, D2, the motion to read, pass, and adopt as a second reading amendments to Chapter 2, Article 3, Division 8, entitled Affordable Housing Trust Collaborative Trust, which would establish funding sources for the trust. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Next item on the agenda, Finance Department, E1, motion to adopt a resolution approving the capital improvement plan. Is there a motion? No motion?
I'll move the motion.
I think we're in
I'll second.
Finance Department.
Second?
So it's been moved by Ryan, moved by Jason, seconded by Donna.
Sorry.
Moved by Ryan, seconded by Jason.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
And so is there any discussion from the council before we go to the public?
I think we,
You don't have to say anything. if
no,
you
I'm
want.
just, yeah, no, I just think we pretty much have gone through, and I think I'm good with that.
No. So anybody from the public have anything to speak on the budget? The capital improvement part of the budget? Okay, so I don't have any comments, and we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So Chris can feel comfortable going away. Town manager, motion to introduce, read, pass, and accept as a first reading the appropriation ordinance for the 2026, 2027 fiscal year. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion with the council before I go to the public? I don't have anything to say. I know there's been a lot of hard work done, and we appreciate the hard work that goes into all of this, all the departments. Hopefully, everybody's happy with our decision. Is there anybody from the public that'd like to say anything? So, so I'll take the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Item F2, a motion to reschedule the performance evaluation and discussion of the employment agreement of the Narragansett Town Manager to June 1st, 2026. Is there a motion?
Second?
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion from the public or any discussion from the council?
Just that this was done at the request of our town manager.
Yeah, I think it was scheduled for a different time, and it got moved up to this. Everybody agreed to this time, so I guess this is the next meeting. Do you have anything to say, Jim? Or
Thank you.
all right.
For considering.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item G, Engineering Department. A motion to read, pass, and adopt as a second reading an ordinance, an amendment of Chapter 78 Utilities of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of Narragansett, Rhode Island, Section 73-48, entitled Restricted Use regarding the town's potable water supply. This is a second reading, so there is no, public discussion. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion from the council?
So, this is the second reading on this. We already went through all of this, correct?
Yeah, but we can talk about it.
Okay. So I believe we received an email about something
Yeah,
concerning
so
this.
I was going to ask, so the South Kingston ordinance also doesn't mention this as far as new lawn for, I guess it doesn't, if you put a new lawn in an existing building, it doesn't mention it. If it's a new building and it's a new lawn, then there's an exception. So, I made a couple phone calls early because I saw this come up. I recognized the person's name that requested some kind of consideration for a new lawn in an existing building. And I'm not sure how we could do that. The person I called, who is a professional, said that people should not plant their lawns in the summer, which maybe that's, something that is good for the business or something, but I guess people have to do it. I don't know what to say, but I'd like to move the ordinance on, and maybe John Gearhart could help us with this, maybe. Is there any idea you have, John, maybe that we could just add something that we wouldn't have to have a second reading? That would make a way of getting a waiver of some sort, or maybe Jim, could you?
We can't do we would have to do, if any changes were put in, except maybe like an effective date, we would have to do another first reading. But I know when John did his research on this, in checking with some of the other communities, they didn't have such an exception. But a change other than maybe the effective date would require a first reading again.
So I just want to make clear so that people know that they can still hold a hose and water their lawn. It's just the sprinkler system, I believe, that is the problem, right?
This one's set up as irrigation systems.
Right. Yeah, so, I mean,
So,
in between the 2 days that you're allotted, you can still hose off and sprinkle if the heat's really bad or something like that, the way it's read and written. So that's what I understood.
It's somewhat silent on that. It specifically addresses the irrigation systems.
right, so a sprinkler that goes back and forth like this is not considered an irrigation system, correct? It just goes back and forth, and so you can still use your back and forth sprinkler. You just can't have the in-ground ones that are shooting out when it's raining and out into the middle of the road.
That's a good question. I didn't think, I thought the sprinkler was an irrigation system in a way, but.
Right, so, I mean, when I read it, that's what I thought. I thought people can still use their back and forth or circular or whatever type of sprinkler you have. That's the way I read it to be, and I thought irrigation system was the ones that are in ground. Correct? I think I'm right? Perfect. So I think.
So you're right, daughter, in that is not an irrigation system?
Right, just your back and forth is not an irrigation. So someone who's putting a new lawn in can still use their back and forth sprinkler, is the way I was reading it. So,
Well, if that's the case, then I'm okay just moving it on, and if we find that it's
Right.
a problem, then I guess we can amend it, but
I think if that's the clarification, then I have no problem also. I think it's what we're looking for. We're just looking for the, to stop, like I said, the people who are running these systems that are, wasting the water, that are just, when days it's raining and they're on a time system. So I'm good.
I'm just,
I think you're right, and then we had the water bans, which, theoretically still could be put into effect if that's needed, so depending on the situation, this is really addresses irrigation system in-ground sprinklers, like the ones that are underground, devised for that purpose alone.
right, because you can set them for the days and set them for the rain and all of that stuff, so. Okay, so, this is a second reading, so the public doesn't have any, thing to say, but, is there anything else that the council would like to add?
This probably should have been addressed already, but we should probably add a definition section, just with regards to sprinkler versus in-ground irrigation.
Would that be proper, James? Can we just define what a irrigation system is to not include sprinklers? Or we probably don't have an irrigation sprinkler in our ordinance already anyway, right?
We would probably have to add that. We can still add that later on if you'd like. You have to do it, you can pass this and then provide another definition later on if you'd like, just to get this moving.
Without advertising and?
Right.
Okay, okay. So is that okay with you, Ryan?
That's fine.
Yep. Any other comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, sprinklers. All right, so the next item on the agenda is G2, a motion to award the bid for sludge transfer pumps replacement, Scarborough wastewater treatment facility, to the sole bidder, Hot Engineering Corporation, in the amount of $337,000. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I think it's necessary to do this, and so I think we have to do it. I think we're making a headway, and very optimistic and very excited to learn what we learned at the meeting, and that, things are looking great, and we're running at optimal, not the word speed, what's the word, Jim? What the wastewater plant treatment?
Optimal right now.
What is it?
Optimal.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. I think, as I had said and put out there, that we had a great meeting, and we're very confident that we will not have a repeat of last summer. I think basically some of the things that happened last summer were the perfect storm where everything came together. I want to thank the staff, that they have been amazing, that they have gone through that plant, and they really have worked really hard doing the research and getting all the data together, and really figuring out what went wrong and what needs to be done. And I think that if this is what they think we need, then I think we're good. I'm good. Thank you. And thank you to all of you for all your hard work.
This will bring it to 2 brand-new sludge pumps and 1 rebuilt. So we'll have 3, like, top-of-the-line systems that are running good, plus the new belt that we have in there now, too. That's the other latest improvement that was approved.
So is one a backup, Jim, or is it just, we have to replace 3 of them?
We have to replace 2 of them.
And 1 rebuilt?
Yeah, the one is being repaired now, so we'll time it perfectly. We'll get them all online.
Good, so whatever can be done, I saw in the thing, there's a 6-week time, maybe we can go pick them up or something,
And that's 6 weeks before work can start?
I believe that's delivery, John? 6 weeks?
Said a 6-week lead time. Hopefully that's just not Pony Express or.
What we have now is functioning. These will operate most likely much better.
Good evening, council members. Yes, we asked for them to clarify the vendor or manufacturer and the lead time for the equipment, just to make sure that they weren't going with some other vendor. Those figures were quoted by the vendor at the time of the bid, but tomorrow morning, the first thing on my to-do list is to send the notice of award to the contractor, and we've worked with the vendor, and we're assured that they have, that, you know, the lead time we were given was 4 to 6 weeks, and we can probably get it even faster than that. In terms of the pumps, the drives may take a little longer, but we should be able to get these things in within about a month, but we have to award the contract so that they can actually purchase and make the commitments. Nobody's going to commit to anything until they actually have a contract.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Gerhard, is that a month for installation or a month for the pipes to get here?
It's a month for them to prep the pump and get it delivered, but yeah, I'm expecting it should be a little faster than that, or you know, a month from our award date.
Okay.
But they're going to work as fast as they can to get us the pumps, and there's other work that they've been doing on site. There's some piping modifications that need to be done to be able to accept these new pumps anyway, so it's not like they'll have other work to do, so that they can drop them right in place and get them started right when they get here.
Okay. Do we have an estimate on how long the actual work will take once they've been
We
delivered?
gave them 75 days, I believe, in the contract, but it's, you know, I've stressed to the contractor as fast as possible, and the same with the pump vendor. So they're all on board to get this thing as quick as they can. And Hart Engineering actually has a contract over at South Kingstown's plant, over at West Warland, the regional plant they're working on right now. So, and our project is one where it's like, you know, they've got a half a day's work or a day's work, then they come back and do things, so they're close enough that they can be able to get in and do their work here without being inefficient.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gerhard.
Thank you.
Okay, and obviously the gentleman that is working with us to oversee the operation and is aware of this and still on board, right? Yep.
Correct.
Yep. Grant Weaver, right? Grant Weaver, yep. Any other comments from the council? I too believe they're doing a great job getting prepared. It's like, I just don't want to hear anything bad. But anyway, is there any people from the public, anybody wants to speak on this item? Okay, so we've been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Fire Department. A motion to approve the purchase of 8 sets of firefighter protective turnout gear and 1 pair of structural fire boots from MES Shipmans Fire Equipment Company in the amount of $39,565.05 pursuant to the Source Well contract.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Any discussion from the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Parks and Rec. Motion to approve a new 2-year contract with Allison's Wonderland Food Truck to participate in Food Truck Night at the Town Beach on Monday and Wednesday nights.
So
The third Monday, no, it keeps going, Jason. Third Monday of June 26th through Labor Day 27, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., subject to state and local regulations.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I can't wait for it to start.
Yeah, sounds delicious.
That means summer's here, and that's so exciting.
Anybody from the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Next item on the agenda, a motion to approve a request from the Narrow River Preservation Association to create a native pollinator garden at Bridgepoint Commons in the area where Craig A. Littlefox Champlin spent countless hours tending to the grounds and stone walls, subject to state and local regulations.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. I'd like to say, I grew up with Craigie Champlin, and he's just a great guy, and I remember him standing out there with his truck and his dog and fixing those stone walls for countless years, and he was just, one of those local, great people. So I think this is something really nice to remember him by. Is there somebody from, I think, maybe, yes? You want to come up? Hi, Shirley.
Hi, guys. Shirley Freitag. I live at 60 South River Drive, and I'm the executive coordinator for Narrow River Preservation Association. And as part of our mission to protect and preserve the Narrow River, it's important to understand that it's more than just the water, it's the total environment. And we had an opportunity to build a native pollinator garden this year, and working with Michelle Kershaw and it's Joe Harvey, right? From Parks and Rec, they suggested this site for us to initiate this garden, and we will be responsible for creating it and tending to it, and we hope to do more over the next few years.
So I love this idea. I think it's great. My kids and I used to drive down and watch him play with his dog. And
We'll make sure that you can access the rock and still climb on top of it.
that would be
So
brilliant.
that's a really important thing.
Because we have awesome pictures of that. Where would the garden go? In front of the rock or behind? Where would the garden go?
Yeah, I'm not responsible for that.
Oh, okay.
But you know how everybody climbs up on the rock, so, but, yeah, we won't make it so that they can't get up on it, so.
Thank you.
Do you guys have any questions about that? The important thing is that using native pollinator plants, they're not going to require, the kind of maintenance that, when you're doing these fancy gardens. So, yes, we will need to get out there with some buckets initially to make sure that they have moisture, but eventually Mother Nature will do her thing, and we'll make sure that it's attractive to everybody that comes to the area. And we're all excited, can't wait.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's really kind of a cool thing. Thank you.
And Mr. Durkin, as you know, Shirley and Jim Vogel from NRPA and a few other from the group, they have been very helpful as we pursue a better solution for the Narrow River dredging. They've been heavily involved in that with us as well in the discussions.
Yeah, I had a chance to speak with those gentlemen, and it's nice to have them on board. Very educated and passionate. So if that's it, anybody else like to speak about Craigie Champlin?
I'd just say that Little Fox was a staple in and around town. Always saw him and his dog down at the wall, repairing the stone walls, so this is a great memorial.
Yeah. All right, all those in favor?
Hi.
All those opposed? No. Motion passes 4-0. Police Department, a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding for statewide computer-aided dispatch and records management system between the Rhode Island Department of Public Safety and the Narragansett Police Department for the police department's new records management system, RMS, subscription, and authorize this payment in the amount of $27,375.92 to the Rhode Island State Police.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion about this item from the council? Is there any discussion from the public? Not hearing any. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Public Works Department, a motion to award the bid for ADS pipe for the Public Works Department to the most qualified bidder based on projected usage, Ferguson Waterworks, at their quoted bid prices for a one-year period ending May 18th, 2027.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Oh. Just-
just keeps going in and out. Every once in a while, it comes back on, so I'm good.
All right, so we have a motion and we have a second. Is there any discussion from the council? Anything, anybody from the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. This is Public Works Department as well.
We tabled this one.
Oh, we tabled this one, okay. So we'll skip over this one.
And just to refresh, I told the chief that he's okay to put those emergency spots for the police cars to park right at the corner there, so they'll be out of the road to monitor the traffic and the pedestrian traffic there.
Okay, so is that it? Executive session? Okay. So motion to retire into executive session in accordance with Rhode Island General Laws 4246-4 and 4246-5A5 to discuss possible acquisition and lease of real property, 35 Kingstown Road, and in accordance with 4246-5A2 for the purpose of collective bargaining. Council 94 asks me, AFL-CIO, Local 1179, and Rhode Island Laborers District Council, Local 1033. Roll call vote. Councilwoman
First.
Oh.
Second.
Motion has been placed and seconded. Councilwoman Vignali?
Yes.
Aye for James Durkin. Mr. Colonnese?
Aye.
And Mr. Torrialde?
Aye.
4-0. back from executive session, and there was only 2 votes. One was to seal the minutes, and the other was to exit and return to open session. Can I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0. Good evening.